So welcome everybody. Excuse me. My thought for you this afternoon is inspired by my daughter, who narrates everything in her life these days. And so whatever she's doing, she tells me about what she's doing as she's doing it. And so yesterday or the day before, I can't remember which one, she was, I don't know, doing whatever her wild activities were. And she told me that she was practicing falling. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Doing some falls." I was like, "Oh, okay." And it occurred to me that that willingness to fall is something that we lose as we get older, right? And so we're going to practice falling today. And what that means is not that we're just going to, do a bunch of, random things to try and hurt ourselves, but that the practice of falling, or the practice of not relying on things always being one way or the other, not always upright, not always side to side, not always the way you expect it to be, is that you build resilience. And that's what it occurred to me, is that small children have a resilience that, again, we start to lose as adults. Because we start to look for things to be the way that makes us comfortable, or the way that we're used to doing things. So we lose that willingness to say, in this moment, I'm falling, so maybe I should fall well. Or in this moment, I'm practicing standing on one foot, so maybe I should just see what that's like, even if I'm not good at it. Or in this moment, I'm doing this activity that I'm still, learning, and I don't have to be judging myself as I'm continuing to learn, right? So it's that resilience, the ability to meet life with a willingness, and also a knowledge that whatever happens doesn't have the ability to break you if you are willing to meet it where it is. You're willing to meet it for what it is. So when I say we're going to practice falling, it's really that. It's looking for that feeling of inner resilience that says, I'm not afraid of what my life is going to put in front of me, even if it means that I'm suddenly upside down, or I'm suddenly sideways, or it's not at all the way that I expected it to go. And we say this all the time, but it's a reminder, and how great that at one point in our lives, probably all of us were in that mode where we were willing to practice falling and think that it was fun, right? That we were willing to get, dirty and wet and messy and have everything be a complete disaster in the adult mind. And it made us happy to be that way, right? So that's what we're looking for, is that sense of inner resilience, so that you can meet life with exactly what needs to be met with, right? Comfortable seat if you're not there already. Let your eyes close. So I'm saying we're practicing falling, but we're really looking for that sense of willing to meet your life with no reservations, no regrets. So start to just bring yourself into your breath, and let this practice today be a playful one. It's the other thing. I've been feeling that there's been so much heaviness in the world lately. There's been so much heaviness to our days, that if we don't forget to practice and play, playfulness in your practice, then that resilience starts to go away again. The act of play is what helps us remember the experience of joy. And when we remember the experience of joy, we start to seek it out in our life, and we start to recognize it where it already is. In your practice of falling, the playfulness of it is you get to actually just enjoy. A couple more deep breaths into wherever it is that you feel joy lives in you, wherever in your body it seems to settle the most easy. If you've never asked that question, now's a good time. Where does joy live in my body? When I'm excited, where does it live? When I'm inspired, where does it live? And agree that you're not going to take yourself seriously for the next hour, or day, or month, or year. Playful heart. Good. With the next exhale, bring the breath all the way out. Pull the navel in and up, so that you have that real feeling of expelling the exhale, expelling the breath. And then as you inhale, bring the hands together in front of your heart center. Fill yourself up like you are a balloon. So you're filling every corner of you with breath as deep as you can go. Pause and hold. And then exhale, release it all the way out. And we'll inhale for the sound of Om. Deep breath in. With the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. Release the hands from in front of the heart center, please. Then come forward onto hands and knees. And start to move yourself in cat and cow. Meow, meow, and moo, moo. If my daughter's narrating for you. Good, move your spine. Nice, you guys. Like your hands and your knees are these 2 or 4 stable points that anchor you to the floor. Move your spine between them, stretch your spine between them. So you're not shifting your weight forward and back on the knees or the wrists, but you're actually keeping them really steady and then pulling your spine from your armpits to your hips. Good. Couple more breaths, move maybe a little bit faster. So it's not the perfection of the movement, but it's the dynamicness of the movement. Good, and then come back to stillness, please. Wag your tail left and right, so move the shoulders and the hips towards each other. Nice, Kristen. Good, Margie. Good. And then come back to stillness, please. Stretch your right leg back behind you. Cross it over your left heel so it comes towards that bottom left-hand corner of your mat. And then look over the left shoulder towards that foot. Good. Scoop your belly. Pull that right hip higher and wider because it's going to have a tendency to drop. Good. Hug your arms up into the shoulder socket. Lift your chest forward. Extend through the crown of your head as you look wide to that left side. Good. One more breath. Nice, and then bring it back to center, please. Switch to the other side. Left leg comes back behind you. Cross that foot over the right heel. Look over the right shoulder, so you're looking towards that foot. Make sure that you're keeping the ball of the foot anchored to the floor, so you're still pushing out through the heel. You can still feel all 5 toes on the floor. And your left hip, don't let it drop in space. Don't let your right hip fall either. Keep it lifted. Good. Keep your arms hanging up into the shoulder socket. Keep your chest pulling forward and wide, long throat. You got it. So I just don't want you to collapse at all. Good. And then bring yourself back to center, please. Nice job. Knees underneath hips. Walk your fingertips forward into a modified downward facing dog, up on your fingertips. Good. And then keeping that scoop of your low belly, lift your hip points up off of your thighs, and then start to, again, bring a wideness to your chest. So drag the hands back energetically. So your arms plug into the shoulder socket. You're lifting your collarbones up and wide and dropping the chest towards the floor, but you're not letting that belly sag. So you're keeping the lift at the front of your pelvis, and you're dropping through that space right behind the heart. Keep your ribs lifted, your low ribs lifted. Good. Really concentrate on that space that is between and around your shoulder blades. So it's not lower than that that's going to create that arch. It's the ribs drawing in and the spaciousness of your upper back. Drop the heart towards the floor, armpits wide. Keep the navel engaged. Good. Nice, you guys. Walk your hands back in, please. Right arm goes out wide to the right. Slide that arm behind your left wrist. Right shoulder finds the floor. Good. Take the left arm forward towards straight. Keep your shins anchored to the floor. And again, pull that right hip point back away from your right armpit. So you're keeping your hips square, but at the same time as you're trying to decompress that part of your trunk where your upper body meets your lower body. Good. Nice, you guys. It's now established in my house that if you are doing almost anything that looks like you're on one foot or you're off balance, my daughter will say you're doing yogas. Any position that doesn't look normal, she says, is yogas. Center, hands and knees. So how about that? Any position in your life that doesn't look normal, yoga. Left arm goes out wide. Slide behind the right wrist. Take the right arm forward. And again, you're dragging long through that hip to that armpit. Keep your shins engaged. Keep your low belly lifted. And we do say that there's really nowhere else in your life that these positions or these ideas are going to be thrown at you so directly. That yoga really is an art of practicing weird things so that when you are in your normal day-to-day routines is you've already established a way of being that is in alignment with yourself, that's in alignment with what you really want and who you really are. And by practicing weird things, you stay resilient. You don't look for it to always be normal, quote unquote, whatever that is. Walk yourself back up to hands and knees. Good. Spread your fingers wide, please. Bend your elbows wide like you're doing a little push-up. And as you do that push-up, again, you can feel the arm bones meet in the cavity of the shoulders, where the back of the shoulder blades meet the chest. So draw those arms up into the shoulder socket. Feel that lift of your collarbones forward. Draw your low rib cage in. Good. And then squeeze those elbows towards each other without losing any of that. Press the arms towards straight, and then tuck your toes and lift your hips. Come into downward facing dog. But don't lose any of that feeling of keeping your chest really wide. Good. We don't think of down dog typically as a chest strengthener, but it is if you're using your upper back consciously. So I want you to keep that feeling of trying to pull your collarbones up and wide towards your fingertips, and pull your low rib cage in so that you make that area of the upper back really secure. Good. One more breath. Beautiful, you guys. Start to walk your feet forward towards your hands, up on tippy toes as much as you can. As you come forward, let your hands continue to touch the floor. Good. Standing forward fold on your tippy toes. If you need blocks, use them. Good. And then let the feet come flat to the floor. Bend your knees towards chair pose. So drop your hips low. Keep your hands on the floor. Hands on the floor. Hands on the floor. There you go. All hands on the floor. Yeah, find your chair pose with your hands on the floor, and then scoop your low belly. As you scoop your low belly, keep your knees in line with second or third toe. Hands are still on the floor. Simon says, hands on the floor. Round your back. Pull your belly up off of your thighs. Drop your chin towards your chest. Round your back. Keep your hips low. Good. And then find that wideness of your chest again. Drag your arms up into your shoulder socket. Feel that widening of your chest without losing that curling of your lower rib cage. Nice. Now start to take your legs to straight. Push your hips up towards the sky. Press your heels down. Get wider in your chest. So standing forward fold, not chair. Good. Nice, you guys. And then one more time, bend your knees again. I want you to really feel where the tightness in your back exists, because it's not enough to just say, I get tight somewhere in my back. Well, where is it? Is it around your ribs? Is it around your armpits? Is it your lower back? Is it everywhere that I just said? Find where there is either a disconnect or a place between the upper body and the lower body that needs attention. Scoop the belly again. Again, make space. Round the back. And now with that roundness, pull your arms into the shoulder socket and try and widen your chest. So it's like you're trying to do that cat and cow position at the same time. Good. And then press into your heels. Take your butt towards the sky, standing forward fold. Good. Nice, you guys. Feet underneath your hips. If they're completely together, give them a little space. And then right hand comes to outer left ankle. Left arm comes to the sky. Spinal twist. Good. Throat moves back, you guys. Again, I want you to keep looking for that place where the shoulder blades meet behind the heart. So you're keeping the chest super open. Good. Release and switch the hands. So left hand comes to outer right ankle. Right arm comes to the sky. Throat moves back. Good. Always my suggestion is to turn that hand that's in the air, turn the palm towards your nose a little bit more. So thumb comes towards the crown of your head. So you open the front of the chest a little bit more. And then you can fall back even further through the back of the heart and open the chest. There you go. And then release the hand, please. Nice job. Bend both knees again. Drop your seat. Round into your low belly. Again, pull the arms into the shoulder socket. This time, take the arms up alongside your ears for actual chair. Good. And still find that wideness of your chest. Take your arms out into cactus arms. Palms face forward, elbows wide. Scoop those inner elbows forward like your arms are actually big wings and you're trying to flap them in. So you're bringing your armpits, your inner elbows forward, but drawing your ribs in and open that chest. Push through the crown of your head. Nice. Now keep that position of the arms. Come all the way up to stand. Tilt your heart to the sky. Back bend, please. Arms in cactus arms. Fall back. Keep your legs rooted. Inner thighs back, heels to the floor. Spin those inner elbows forward and squeeze those lower armpits. And then take your chest higher and fall back more. Ribs in, fall back more. Good. If you're not in a full wheel yet, you haven't gone back enough. Good. Navel in, come all the way back up to center. Really good, you guys. Hug the right knee up and towards your chest, squeeze. Yeah, secret inspiration, drop backs. Good, squeeze that knee in, send the top of that left thigh, standing thigh, back, back, back. Good. And then left hand comes to outer right knee, please, so you're crossing the body. And then take that right arm back behind you. Again, it can come to your lower back if that feels more secure, or extend it straight back from the shoulder. Good, push the knee wide into your hand, keep the top of the left thigh pulling up and back, push your butt back. And then optional here is to extend that right leg to straight, either keeping the hand at the knee, or if you can easily reach the ankle or the foot, reach for the foot, straighten the leg. Good, remember this class is about practicing falling. So if you fall, you're doing it right. Awesome. And then bring it all the way back to center, hug that knee in towards your chest. Good, place it down to the floor, please. Inhale, arms to the sky. Good, bend your knees, drop back chair. Hands at heart center, please. Prayer twist, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Good. Again, find where you are drawing the arms into the shoulder socket and where you are widening your chest but pulling your low rib cage in. Good. And then press through the crown of your head. Good. Keep your knees in line with each other. Beautiful. Come back to center, please. Don't change your pose. Twist to the other side, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. I know. Pay attention to your feet. If your legs are feeling like they don't want to do this anymore, draw your navel in more. Pay attention to your feet. Good. Nice, you guys. Come back to center, please. Come all the way back up to stand. Reach as long as you can. Good. And then left knee comes up and towards your chest. Squeeze, squeeze. Good. As you hug that knee in, send the top of your right thigh, so standing thigh pulls back and up. Your navel pulls in, you're pushing your butt back in space. And then pull your low rib cage in, move your shoulders back. So it's already gonna feel like you're already off center, but now you've actually stacked your spine. Good. And then right hand to outer left knee. Left hand comes to your lower back or stretches straight back behind you. Good. Keep that knee pushing wide so it stays just in line with your hip. So Margie, take the knee a little wider to the left. Good. Lauren, a little wider to the left. Nice, you guys. Scoop that belly. Good. And turn your gaze. I can't see all of you, but make sure you bring your whole body into the twist. And then straighten that left leg if you choose. Good. Even with the leg straight, you still have to push wide through the inner thigh so it stays in line with your hip. You have to have that experience of pushing the inner thighs wide to maintain stability. Good. Nice falls, you guys. And then bring it back to center, hug that knee in towards your chest. Beautiful. Place that foot down to the floor. Inhale the arms up to the sky. I know you're having so much fun already. Bend your knees, come back to chair. And then interlace your fingers behind you at the low spine. Good. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. And again, with the elbows bent, squeeze the upper arm. So again, you have this feeling of lifting and widening the chest, and then pull your ribs in. Good. And then extend through the crown of your head, push through your seat. Nice. And then keep that. Start to straighten the legs, push your butt to the sky, bow the head forward, take the arms up and over any amount. Maybe you straighten them, maybe you keep them bent. I want you to try and keep your palms towards each other, your wrists towards each other. Don't let your elbows hyperextend. Good. If they are hyperextending, I want you to keep a bend there. So Lauren, bend the elbows a little bit more. Nice. Wide chest, you guys. Pull the chest forward and open. Nice, Alice. Really good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good job. Step yourself back downward facing dog. Good. Right leg comes up and back. Down dog split. Beautiful. Bring the knee forward towards your nose. Armpits come over your wrist. Round, round, round. And then in that rounding, look forward even though that knee is still in. Lift and widen your chest. Push up through the back of your head. Yeah. Nice. Working chaturanga. And then take that leg up and back. Down dog split. Good. And then one more time, bring the knee forward. Same feeling that as you come forward, that roundness that gives you the power of your navel, then you have to pull the arms back into the shoulder socket, find the power of your chest. Shoot that leg out to the left. Good. Straight leg onto the baby toe side, please. Drop that left heel flat. Right arm holds you, left arm to the sky. Good. Open, open. You got it. Throat pulls back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good, you guys. One more breath. What's holding you? It's how much you're opening, not just your foot and your hand. Good. Come all the way back, please. Take that right leg back and up, down dog split. I know. And then step that foot forward between the hands. Good. Drop the back knee, please. Use a blanket there if you'd like. Good. Flex that right foot. So bring both hands to the inside of the front foot to begin, and then flex the foot, let the knee drop wide to the side. So come onto the baby toe, let your knee drop open, and then walk your hands forward a little bit and take the hands wider again. So you can come up on your fingertips with kind of wide arms. Good, because I want you to, on your exhales, be bending your elbows wide, do those little push-ups. So as you exhale, it's like you're bringing your heart to your toes. The elbows go wide, and inhale, you're finding yourself lift up. Good. So don't let the head drop here so that the head is not dead weight. Keep it in line with your spine. Let the chest move. Let the back move. Good. Nice. Resilience is recognizing where there is untapped strength so that when one way of doing things, one way of acting doesn't work or it's not sustaining you, you have something else to continuously draw on. That's helpful in your body when we have that kind of body awareness. It's even better when you know it in your mind and in your heart and in your soul, that you always have something to draw on. Good. Come to stillness, please. Pause. One more breath with that knee dropped open. And then walk the hands back in. Nice job. Lift that back knee. Step back, downward facing dog. And then drop the knees to the floor, child's pose. No, you're all like, can't we just do handstand and fall and get it over with? No. No. Resilience is where are the edges in you that are so hard that they're yeses or nos categorically, where there's no room to maneuver. Where's the edge of your willingness? Walk your torso to the right over the right thigh. At what point do you stop seeing what's happening in your life as fun? Even if it's hard, do you still have a sense that you can be playful? That whatever happens, it's not the end of the world, it's not the end of you. Come back to center, walk to the left. It's like the first time you realize that no one's going to jump out of a closet and yell at you for eating ice cream for dinner. Can you let yourself have the permission to really be joyful about living your life, playful about living your life, where even the falling is part of practice, it's part of play. Especially the falling is part of play. Come back to center. Good. Come back, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Nice. And then left leg comes up and back, down dog split. Bring the knee forward towards your nose, armpits over your wrist, squeeze in, round the back. And as you pull forward, you get to that full, almost one-legged plank. Then start to lift the back of your throat. Pull your arms into the shoulder socket so your shoulder blades actually cup the back of your heart, and then widen your collarbones forward a lot and then pull up through those low ribs. It should feel incredibly difficult. Good. And then take that leg all the way up and back, down dog split. If it doesn't feel incredibly difficult, I would have to say you're not trying hard enough, or you do this so often that it just doesn't register anymore. Try it one more time. Come forward, knee towards your chest, round your back. So you're pulling everything up, and now I need you to squeeze those shoulder blades onto your back, pull your arms into the shoulder socket, lift through the back of your throat so that the line of your neck, the muscles of your neck are in line with your chest and your back. Good. Shoot that left leg out to the right. I know. Good. Flex the foot, turn that right heel down to the floor, right arm to the sky, open. Push into your feet. As you push into your feet, lift your chest up and open. So you're drawing that left shoulder blade deep onto your back to lift your heart higher. Good. And your ability to stay here is not just in reference to your foot and your hand, it's how much are you pulling yourself open. Good. Come all the way back, left leg up and back, down dog split. And yes, at some point it may come down to your foot or your wrist. Just don't want to do it anymore. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Good. Drop the back knee. Use a blanket if you need. Good. Take that left knee out wide. Come onto the baby toe. So it might help to take the hands to the inside of the foot first. Let the knee go wide. And then walk your hands forward a little bit so that you have full length on your spine. Separate the hands nice and wide. Come up on your fingertips. And then start to do those little push-ups. As you exhale, you're letting the elbows go wide. I want you to feel your chest, and you're not dropping your hips when you do that. Good. Good. Playful push-ups. Not aggravating, strenuous. When can I stop push-ups? You're bringing your heart to your foot. Can it be a game? Is it possible to bring my heart to my foot? Is it possible for me to do this over and over again and not get tense? Not get frustrated? Good. Nice, you guys. Come back to stillness, please. Pause for another breath with that knee wide. Find the extension of your spine. And then walk your hands back in. Nice job. Lift that back knee. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Come forward to plank, lower down slow. Find your way to your belly. Your choice of back bend here, you can go straight into cobra. You can stretch the arms back for locust. Or if you want to come into upward facing dog, you're welcome to slide yourself forward and rise up into upward facing dog. Good. So you're either using your arms or you are not if you're in locust. Either way, wide chest. Draw the arms into the shoulder socket. Press through the crown of your head. Really nice. Good, Linda. Nice, Mark. Good, Sandy. And then come all the way back, please, downward facing dog. Nice, you guys. Look forward between the hands. Step or jump your feet to the top of your mat. Good. Super bonus points if you jump today. Nice job. And then take the arms around and up. Come all the way to stand. Cute that Carolina went straight for a squat there, even though I didn't say it. Arms, Elisa did too. Good. Arms to the sky. Right hand holds left wrist, please. And then pull to your right. Good. And then come back up to center, please. Switch the hands, reach the other way. Nice. And then back up to center. Good. So have a couple of blocks in front of you just in case, or a block in front of you just in case you want it. And then standing at the top of your mat. Right leg holds you, bend your left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, reach back left hand for the foot or the ankle. So same hand, same foot. Left knee points down to the floor. Try and have your knees come in line with each other. That might be just the first step is, can I get my knees in line with each other? Will my left thigh allow that? Good. And then you're giving a little pressure of that left foot into your hand. Bend your left elbow so that you're pulling your left arm up into the shoulder socket. Right hand comes behind your head. Yep. So again, I'm making you connect hands with some greater part of your body. Good. So keep that left elbow bent as much as you can. As you start to kick your foot into your hand, draw the thigh back. And at the same time that you're drawing the knee back, lift the front edge of your pelvic bones forward and up. Draw your ribs in, press the head back into your hand, and then maintain that as you start to let yourself lean forward towards dancer pose. So as you lean forward, you're kicking the foot back into your hand to create counterbalance, but you're lifting through the front edge of your hip points. You're drawing the low ribs in, widening that space behind the heart through the chest, head pulls back. Good. And then keep going. Keep letting yourself draw forward and forward and forward. Right hand comes out from behind the head. Reach down for that block or the floor. Good. Remember, falling is part of the idea here. So if you do it, good job. Good. If you still have hold of that foot and you would like to stack the left hip on top of the right, come into Chapasana, the Ardha Chandrasana variation, you can. If you are no longer holding your foot, but you're still in standing split, feel free to stack the hip into Ardha Chandrasana. Awesome, you guys. Nice. Deep breath in. Good. Release the foot. If you're holding it, extend it all the way back out to Ardha Chandrasana. Step back. Nice long lunge. Good. Hands to the floor. Right foot should be forward in a lunge. Hands on the floor. Oh my gosh. I know. Step your left foot forward just a little bit. Straighten both legs. Parsvottanasana. Playfulness. Not that I think that, toddler awareness of not realizing when something is dangerous or not realizing when something is a bad idea is what we're aiming for. But to have the sense of freedom that just because you thought of it, that it could be possible, why not try? There's a willingness to try and fail. There's a willingness to fall. There's a willingness to find new ways to accomplish something when one way doesn't work. That resilience is something that we miss. And because of it, we start to miss out on real joy. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way back up to stand. Don't change the feet, but bring your hands behind you, holding opposite elbows. Good. So bring a little bit more weight into your back foot to begin. So you're actually shifting your weight back. Good. And then I want you to feel that dropping of your tailbone, the lifting of your hip points. So you're setting your pelvis as neutral as you can get it. Good. And then holding opposite elbows, let your elbows fall forward and bring as much of your low back to touch your arms as you can. So you're softening your rib cage back, and you're even maybe, instead of holding your elbows, holding your forearms so that you can feel the entire length of your forearms touching your back. That's going to soften that place where the front of the shoulder meets the chest. Now you can widen your chest more, but pull those elbows forward in space, and then draw your ribs back. So it's going to give you a little bit more access and real freedom to the front of your shoulder joints. Good. Ribs in even more, Jessica. There you go. Yep. Good. Now maintain that, please, and find your forward fold, same way that you just did. Don't give in to that desire to crumple that place at the front of your shoulder. Keep your elbows falling forward. Good. Keep the pressure of the arms and the low back against each other. And you can still widen your chest, still widen your back, still lengthen your spine, and you don't have to get hard around your shoulder joints. Go ahead, roll the arm bones back, but don't let the space get short. That's it. Nice, Karen. Good, you guys. Release the hands down to the floor, please. Good. Left hand plants on the floor or a block. Take the right arm to the sky or to your hip or to your low back, whichever feels better. Good. A very mild revolve Trikonasana. Good. Throat moves back. Chest open wide. Another pose that's really fun to fall out of. And then release that hand down to the floor. Really good, you guys. Step back, downward facing dog. Vinyasa if you'd like. Child's pose if you prefer. If you're doing your vinyasa, you're sliding forward to plank, lowering down, choosing your back bend. Again, up to you. If you're in an up dog mood, go for it. If you're in a cobra mood, go for it. If you're in a locust mood, go for it. If you have another brilliant back bend idea, go for it. And then come back down, forward facing dog. Good. Looking forward between the hands, step or jump your feet to the top of your mat. Good. Take the legs to straight. Learned my lesson. If I don't say anything, you'll end up in squat. Not that that's bad. Take the arms around and up. Come to stand. Interlace your fingers. Press heels of the hands up to the sky. Press through your feet. Feel the length of your thighs pulling up into the front of your pelvis, pulling up into the softening of your ribs, into the wideness of your chest. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, but push through the arms. Push through your wrists. Good. And then lift your heart nice and high here, like you're just continuing that length. Draw the low rib cage in, start to lean back. Stretch those arms back alongside your ears. Good. Take your ears back behind your arms, and then bring your arms back behind your ears. Good. Keep your heart pulling high to the sky. Pull the tops of your thighs back. Good. Navel in and lean back. Good. And then come all the way back up to stand. Nice job. And release the hands back to the heart or around and down. Good. So second side dancer pose, Natrajasana. So left leg is going to hold you, right knee bends. Again, make sure you have a block or two in front of you. Absolutely do all of the close adjusting. And as that knee bends, bring the knees in line with each other to begin. So first let yourself feel what square is, or what level is, or what neutral is. And then left hand comes behind your head. Bend your right elbow, the one holding your foot. I'm going to ask you to keep that elbow bent just a little bit so that you're keeping that feeling of the arm staying rooted in the shoulders, staying rooted to the chest and the upper back. So as you push your head back, you're really opening that space and not letting the arm get locked. So start to bring the right knee back behind you. As the knee comes back, the front of your pelvic points lift up. So keep that length from the front of your thighs. Pull your low rib cage in. And then as you lean forward, press your head, your throat back into your hands. So again, you're focused on that wideness of your chest, pulling you forward. And that right elbow stays bent. Good. And then keep that. Start to lean forward more and more and more. Left hand comes out and down. Find the block or the floor. Good. Still holding that foot if you can. Good. So either you're in standing split if you've let go of the foot, or optional if you're holding it is to stack the right hip on top of the left. Come into Chapasana, that modified Ardha Chandrasana. If you are in standing split, you're welcome to open the hip as well into full Ardha Chandrasana. Good job, Elisa. Good job, Linda. Nice, Mark. Good, Lisa. S. Good. Release the foot if you're in Chapasana. Extend all the way out. Nice, you guys. Step all the way back. Nice long lunge. Good. Release the hands to the floor. I know. Step your right foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. The best games are the ones that get you out of breath. We lose that willingness too as we get older, don't we? We are less willing to do things that put us out of breath, that challenge our equilibrium. Homeostasis is that feeling of balance that continues to adjust with whatever your normal is, your quote normal. So it's up to you to maintain the range that your homeostasis exists within. And the less willing we are, the more that range starts to contract. And the more it contracts, the less willing we become. And pretty soon that resilience to life, the resilience to even just things like being outside, right? We're used to air conditioning. Being outside becomes difficult. Isn't that crazy? Bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to stand. So we practice doing ridiculous things in yoga so that we get used to how ridiculous we are in the rest of our life. We learn to be more fun about it. Take your arms back behind you, hold opposite elbows, put the other one on top if you can remember. And again, you're moving your weight into the back leg first. So you're putting your weight back so that you can lift the front of your pelvic points up and you can soften your rib cage in. And then your elbows are falling forward a lot. And as they fall forward and there's more pressure, or there's more touch between your lower back and your arms, I want there to be more connection between the two. So keep letting the elbows fall forward and then draw your rib cage in so that your low back or your middle back is actually pressing towards your hands, towards your arms. Good. Now maintain that feeling. You can still widen the chest here, but let the elbows pull forward. Find your forward fold. Send your hips back. Good. Keep your ribs pulled in. As you come forward, the tendency is going to be to arch the ribs forward and let the elbows pull back so that you feel like you're getting more stretch in your chest. Let the elbows fall forward, roll your arm bones back and wide, and then push through the crown of your head. So really think about that widening of your upper chest. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Nice job, you guys. Right hand plants floor or block, left arm to the sky, revolve, Trikonasana. Good, don't let your hips fly open. Throat goes back, head goes back. Nice. And then release that hand down to the floor. Nice, you guys. Step yourself back, downward facing dog. Good, slide forward to plank pose. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Good, rise up cobra, lift head, neck, and chest. Good, and then bring yourself back down to your forehead. Keep the hands where they are, bend your knees, kick your heels in towards your butt. Good, root those thighs down. Same feeling of lifting forward and up. As the thighs root down, then lift forward and up through the front of your pelvis. So you're actually lengthening through the front of your thighs. Good. And then your low rib cage pulls in, almost like you're going to do a reverse push-up off of the floor. Get that kind of engagement. And then root through the arms, pull your collarbones forward, rise up to cobra again. Good. Tail moves towards your heels, pull the front of the thighs forward. Nice. And back of the heart, back of the head reaches for the feet. Good. Squeeze those heels in. I know. You got to do both. Beautiful. And then release, please. Forehead to the floor. Nice job, you guys. Let the feet go. Flip over onto your backs. Good. Cross the right ankle on top of your left thigh. Bring the left knee in towards your chest. Good. Use the hands to hold if you'd like, or just use the legs, your choice. Keep the low back anchored to the floor. Add a little bit more weight towards that left side of your sacrum, just because it tends to lean to whatever knee is bent. Nice, you guys. Good. Release that foot down to the floor, please. So left foot comes to the floor, right ankle stays where it is. Step your left foot wider to the left, drop your knees to the right. Good. Arms can go wide if you'd like, or overhead. It's easy to get focused on specific poses that you want to master or specific parts of your life that you want to succeed in. But we often forget to look for that underlying current that moves through your entire life, the thing that you draw on to be able to get through not just the mundane routines, but also all of the unexpected moments, events, situations, good and bad. If we don't have a sense that there's something that we're going to be able to rely on when things go sideways, then it breeds the anxiety, it breeds the fear. The moment we can become playful, we start to realize that if we are resilient, adaptable, then anything can happen and we will find our way through it. Come back to center, please. Good. Right foot comes to the floor. Take the left ankle on top of right thigh. Lift your right shin parallel to the floor, again, reaching through to hold if you'd like, or just using the legs. And I feel like that concept is something that we've said a lot in the last couple of months with all the stuff going on. But we've said it in such a heavy way because what most of us were feeling felt very heavy. So what if you came to the same conclusion in a way that was playful? In a way that said, I'm actually excited to have that trust in myself. I'm actually excited to find out where I'm drawing my energy from. So that nothing is taken away from me in my life, no matter what happens, but it's always giving constantly back more of myself, more of myself, more of myself. And it's not heavy, it's fun. Discover what I'm capable of. I discover what I'm made of. And I'm never disappointed. Good. Release that right foot down to the floor. Step the foot wide to the right, please. Left ankle stays where it is. Drop your knees to the left. Of course, if the knee doesn't like coming into the twist with the ankle on top, step it down. What would happen if every time you looked at yourself from the inside out, you were not disappointed? Breathe the armpit to the hip. Breathe the ribs away from the pelvis. By breathing them away from each other, you actually feel the exact way that they are connected. Start to identify the exact way that your body is put together. Learn what you're made of. Good. Come back to center, please. Nice. So heels in towards your butt as much as they can. If you can, reach, excuse me, if you can, reach your hands for your ankles, if that is possible. If it's not, don't worry, just get kind of as close as you can. Good. Long arms. Don't let your knees splay open, so keep your knees drawn in. There you go. And then press down through the feet. Good. Find that widening of the upper shoulders. Start to lift the chest up, almost like you're planning on coming into fish first. So draw the groins down as you lift your chest, lift your chest, lift your chest. And then along with that, start to lift the hips, but the chest is what's rising first. Good. Come into bridge. Again, if you can, hold the ankles. If not, you can interlace your fingers underneath you, maybe pressing the hands down towards the floor. Good. If not, whatever arm position allows you to feel like you have full width of your chest. Nice, you guys. Knees draw towards each other. From the back of your heart, lift up higher. From your armpits, lift up higher. Good. And then release the hips back down to the floor. Nice job. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Good. Roll forward and back, side to side. Good. And then roll yourself up to sit. Yep. Flip over onto hands and knees. I know, facing the top of your mat. Sorry. Downward facing dog. Really didn't matter if you were facing the back of your mat. I just didn't want you to, get confused and be looking for what you were supposed to be doing. Slide forward to plank pose, please. Upward push-up. That same feeling of pulling up through your ribs, arms plug into the shoulder socket. Vasisthasana, right side. So turn onto the baby toe of your right foot. Right arm holds you, left arm to the sky. And now get fancy. Either bring that left foot to the inner thigh for tree. Maybe you bring that knee in towards your chest, grab hold of the foot and extend it up towards the sky. Good. Maybe you step the foot back behind you and come back into a back bend. Good. Get fancy. Maybe you just separate the legs. Maybe if you've got hold of that foot, you start to scoop into your belly, round your back, come up onto the ball of your right foot. Yeah, push your butt to the sky and then slide that left heel forward, come into split. Yes, 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 yes. Go, Alice, go, Alice, go, Alice. Almost. Good. A brilliant fall. And then slowly release. Come on back, downward facing dog. Good. Breathe your breath. And then slide forward to plank pose. Feet together. Vasisthasana, second side. Left hand holds you. Right arm to the sky. Wide open chest. Pull the arms into the shoulder socket so that you're not just relying on the hand to hold you, but you're pushing away from the floor as much as you are reaching down. And then get fancy with that right leg. Good. Top leg does something that excites you. Good. And again, if you're going to go for that split, you got to scoop, scoop, scoop like crazy. Pull up from your butt. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Awesome. Yeah, from Vasisthasana to Hanuman. Good job, everybody. Good job, Alice. And then slowly release. Come on back. The victory for the millennia, I think. And then drop the knees to the floor, please. Child's pose. Good, you guys. Do you practice in a way that pleases yourself? Not do you do only the poses that you like, but do you practice every pose in a way that pleases you? That creates a sense of joy? If the answer is no, then what are you doing? Why not? If your practice doesn't help free you, what are you trying to get from it? Walk yourself back up, please. Come onto your butt, take your legs out in front of you. Good, bend your knees, take your feet, excuse me, as wide as your mat with the knees bent, and then come up on your heels, so it's like you're in like a seated squat pose. Yep, so come up on your heels, and then take your hands inside the legs, so walk yourself forward just a little bit, arms inside. Good, and then right forearm comes up against right shin. That's it. So again, you have something to push wide against. Your arm is pushing wide, but I want you to pull that right shin in towards your arm. So your knees, your legs are not just splaying out, but you're actually trying to find the pulling in, the squeezing in, like a bracket around the legs. Good, and then take your left arm to the sky. So the right arm and leg are pressing against each other, left arm reaches up. Good. Optional, bend that left elbow, turn the palm to face back, wrap the left arm around the lower back, and then maybe slide that right shoulder down a little further, wrap the right arm underneath the knee. Good, bind. Draw the arms into the shoulder socket, draw your throat back. Good. Beautiful. Slowly release, come back to center, stretch that left arm to the sky. Whenever you've been bound, you guys, try to extend the arms in an easeful place before you go on to the next thing, and then come back to center. Good. Go to the other side, so now moving the left forearm up against your left shin, hugging the left shin in a little stronger. Right arm comes to the sky. Good. So don't let the feet just fall open to wherever they want to go. I still want you to have that feeling that your inner thighs are pushing, are rolling in and down towards the floor. And you're towards that front edge of your sit bone. Good. If you're going for the bind, turn the right palm to face back, bend the elbow, reach around. That might be far enough, just that arm. If you're going for the full bind, reach the left shoulder inside the left knee, wrap the arm around the thigh, try and find your hand behind you. Good. If not, just open your chest a little wider. Nice, Elisa. Good. Nice, Lisa P. Open the chest just a little bit more. Let that right side body breathe. There you go. And then slowly release, come all the way back. Good, yeah, unwind the arms, come back to center. Nice, walk the hands back, please. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Let the knees drop all the way open now. Maybe with your Baddha Konasana a little bit longer than it usually is, so heels a little further out. Good. And then start to curl your toes back so your feet are awake, your ankles are awake. And then let yourself come into your forward fold. If you would like to thread the forearms underneath your knees, again, you're welcome to do that. If you would rather have the arms in front of you, that's great. If you want to block for underneath your head, you're welcome to do that too. But the idea of, can you still think of this as bringing your heart to your toes? Can you still think of this as getting so wide in your chest that you literally just spread? You spread into your forward fold. Good. Nice, Susan. One more breath. Drop yourself into your Baddha Konasana. And then walk yourself back up. Nice job, you guys. Good. Bring the knees facing up. Roll yourself forward. Scoot yourself forward just a little bit. Hold underneath the thighs. Come up on your tippy toes. Good. Balancing on the sit bones. Take the shins up. Boat pose. Good. Nice. And then stretch the arms up overhead. Yep. Good. Good, good, good. And then without using your hands, knees are bent, pull the knees in towards your chest, come into Baddha Konasana, open the knees wide, still balancing, and then take your legs out wide to a straddle, still balancing. Good. Really good. Good job, Kristen. Awesome. And then bring the legs down to the floor, wide legs. Come down to the floor, wide legs. Deep breath in, get tall. Exhale, bow forward. Like this is what you intended to do the entire time. Just go straight into that forward fold. Good. No, and you're like, there's no way I would plan to do that. That's why you hired me. One more breath, active feet, please. And then walk yourself back up. Good, bring the legs back towards each other, please. Come on down to your backs. I promise you don't have to get up again. Playful. If you gave up on every serious aspect of your practice, what would you be left with? Good, draw the knees in towards your chest, please. Cross the right thigh on top of the left, stack the knees, separate the feet wide, reach for the ankles or the shins. Good, so Gomukhasana legs, Elisa. So cross your right thigh on top of your left. There you go. You got it. Nice, find your low back on the floor, please. As your low back anchors down to the floor, you're sucking in the lowest part of your belly so that as the knees come in towards the chest, you're pushing long through your tail. So you're keeping your sacrum rooted to the floor and you're folding through the hip creases even deeper. Good. Nice, you guys. And then release the feet, please. Switch to the other side. Take the other leg on top. Good, again, anchoring the lower back. So as the knees fold in, you're actually engaging, drawing in through the low belly and pushing out through your tail. So you're not curling the low spine up at all, but you're keeping it long as you pull the knees in. Get deeper into your thigh creases. Good. And then slowly release the legs, please. Nice. One more back bend of your choice. So if you want to come into bridge pose here, you're welcome to do that. If you would like to come into full wheel, then you can place the hands alongside the head, come into that. If you would like to come into upward bow, you can flip onto your belly, reach for the ankles and come into that. If you want to come up onto your knees for camel, you can do that. If you want to come into fish pose, you can do that, but choose a final back bend for yourself. Good. Again, a back bend that pleases you, that excites you. And recognize where that excitement lives in your body. Where does it start from? Where does it settle? Be exhilarated by your practice. Be exhilarated by your life. Good. Jessica, just turn your feet forward a little bit. There you go. Nice, Lauren. Beautiful, Alice. Couple more deep breaths. If you're in wheel and you are waiting for me to let you out early because it's a more challenging back bend, you're talking to the wrong person. Good. Slowly release as you are ready, wherever you are. Game with yourself. How long can I stay in a pose easeful in my mind? No matter how challenging the pose is. If I set it up well, how long can I stay and stay easeful in my mind? Build the resilience so that when life hands you something ridiculous, you are already well practiced at staying easeful in your mind. Let your spine find itself. Nice, Carrie. Good. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest one more time, please. Scoot your hips over to the left, drop your knees to the right. Keep the knees stacked on top of each other. Good. Knees should be in line with your hips or slightly higher towards your belly. Relax that left shoulder wide or take the arm up alongside your ear, again, lengthening armpit to hip. Good. Bring yourself back to center, please. Scoot the hips over to the right, drop your knees to the left. Keep the knees on top of each other. Knees in line with your hips or slightly higher. Where does joy rest in your body when you practice? Where do you carry it? Good. Bring yourself back to center, please. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees. Squeeze the knees in. Pull into yourself. Squeeze. As you're squeezing in, push your shins back against your hands. Hollow that space between your thighs and your belly. Draw your arms back in space. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then release everything. Stretch the arms out alongside you. Stretch the legs out in front of you. Let the feet drop open. Let the arms drop open, palms up. Shavasana, the pose where you let go of trying to maintain anything and let yourself fall into quiet. Maybe even imagine that instead you are falling into joy. Even not knowing what that might mean or feel like, fall into it. So that it's the air that you breathe. And it's what courses through your veins and arteries. When you let go of what you're holding, you can fall into anything. Very gently bring the awareness back to your breath. Your body begin to stretch, move, whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw the knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. A moment there before you begin, excuse me, to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center, or palm to palm, or whatever mudra has been serving you well. And it's said that where our innate source energy is one that is combined with or that comes from bliss, that's our core nature is bliss. And joy is sort of another synonym that we use for that experience. So it's said that this is what we come from. This is the baseline of what you are. But as you go through your life, there's those layers and layers and layers that we put between our expression of bliss or joy and what's going on with the rest of the world. So our resilience starts to leave us the more there is a lack of willingness to keep bouncing back to that joyful place, that blissful place. So when we're young, things happen and we naturally bounce back to that state of willingness again, over and over. The more we grow, the more we find reasons not to do that. And so our world contracts, and the more it contracts, the more we are left with a feeling of lack. And that feeling of lack causes us to question ourselves deeper. And it's this recurring cycle, it's this ongoing experience, right? Where everything gets narrower and narrower. So building the inner resilience is, can you let yourself fall back on that inner bliss? Can you let yourself fall back on things not being the way that you want them to be, need them to be? That none of it is going to be the end of you. And if you fall back to that place of bliss, then anything that happens can now be part of play. These are the teachings of Krishna too. That everything in your life can be the part of play if you approach it in a playful way. So that's your truest power, your truest gift, is that bliss is endless. But your willingness to bounce back to it, to find it, that's conditioned by your mind. So work on that inner resilience, learn how to play in your practice, in your life. We'll close with the sound of Om, deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Whenever you are falling, it means you are falling out of something and into something. So fall into bliss and out of wherever else you happen to get stuck. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week until I see you again. I will unmute you.